What's up, guys? It's your boy, the Badwolf, coming to you live from the Wolf Den. So, what's that, boy? Easy. Easy. It's okay. These are our friends. Okay? Told you I was a little crazy. All right. So, if this is your first time here, don't forget to hit that bell, like, subscribe. I definitely appreciate each and every one of you guys coming here to watch the videos. It's a little late night, so your boy is burning the midnight oil or the candle on both ends, as they say, but that's okay. I do it for you guys because you guys love it. See what I did there? Love it, Jay. Okay, anyway. All right, so people have been asking for a full breakdown on the right to travel. All right, now I've made other videos on right to travel. We cover a lot of spaces and places and faces. So what we're going to do is we're going to go over everything. Sure, get a little closer. It's cool. I don't bite. And right to travel. So right to travel, you are protected under the Constitution to utilize your personal private conveyance on the public streets, whether in private or public capacity. A lot of police officers don't know this information because they're afraid to go to their commanding officer or the chief of police and ask them for, in private, if they know anything about right to travel. Okay, I've already had friends and family who are cops do this, and they were shocked by the information. Or they just didn't want to look it up. So everybody can pretty much do this except for people who are truly officers of the state, or if you're using it, the public roads, which belong to Americans, Native Americans, American nationals, and all that, because you owe us money for utilizing the roads. So I would suggest going on Google and typing in, right to travel, Constitution and right to travel if you want to find out more information. You can also go to blacksite32.com, and I should have some files on there. I also have a pack of files you can also buy, which have not all, but a majority of the court cases and information that are associated with this. Now, of course, most people don't know about this because right to travel, all that is done by the federal district court, which is where the lower courts don't want to go into because they lose jurisdiction there. And most people don't know this because it's also part of the Supreme Court. And most of these places don't, nobody's going to sit down and want to look up all the court case rulings, because the lower courts with the police and the bar, which is the British Accredited Registry, they're in different jurisdictions than the Supreme Court. Supreme Court overrules them. So those things, the Supreme Court and federal district court, are the superior law, period. But what the cops are doing is they're policing LEOs, law enforcement officers, or legal enforcement officers, because they're enforcing legal things. They're in their own bubble, and they are to police over 14th Amendment U.S. citizens, or those people who have state plates and things of that nature, not for the private citizen. This does not mean that the private citizen is above the law, or you can just speed and get away with whatever you want to do. You're endangering public safety and my friends and family, and probably your own friends and family, whatever. So just don't do that. Will some people abuse that? Are they doing it already? Yes. Okay. So the police are out there, so don't give them a hard time. Most of them are good people, even if some of them should be protecting us, especially the sheriffs, who are supposed to be underneath the Constitution. All right. But the police, at least they're in a private jurisdiction, though policing what they believe is the public, should be only the 14th Amendment U.S. citizen, but they do have the ability to protect. They'll have no legal obligation, according to my police misconduct book up here that I've learned, to protect you, anybody. If they feel their life's in danger, they just don't have to do it. All right, enough said, I digress. Let's get to the right to travel. So a lot of people out there are not doing all of the steps. So I'm going to try to make this an all-encompassing video, and however long it takes, we're just going to go to do it. First of all, I highly suggest you go and check out a video on blacksite32.com, or you can YouTube search it by the name of a lady by the name of Jackie Figg, JACQUIEFIGG. Look up constitutional cases on right to travel, or get the file pack from me on blacksite32.com. Once you are sure you want to do this, understand that if you're doing Uber or whatever else, this is not going to be for you. If you're a CDL driver, you can do it in your personal conveyance to your truck, but not with your truck, okay? There might be some other things on behind the scenes on that. We don't know about that yet. A lot of information takes time to learn and to sift through the court cases and whatnot. So maybe in the future we'll have something more on that, on how to do it privately for profit. But at this point in time, if you're not utilizing your vehicle for commercial or for-profit uses, then you're operating in the private and you're back under the Constitution. Okay? And remember, if you're a state or federalized state employee, you are operating under the state's Constitution versus the Constitution of the United States of America, where our freedoms and rights are versus their privileges and licenses. Okay? Different jurisdictions. Even cops know that they know you as either being a U.S. citizen or a foreign national. That's it. Okay? They don't understand the difference between the state of whatever state you're in, which is for profit, and the republic of that state, which is the ground and land and the your freedoms and rights. All right. I take this moment to also step in and say that if you guys see anybody using this information or calling us the S word, please report them with the report button over there. For bullying, slandering, defamation of character, which is a suable offense, and whatnot. Otherwise, any information can be used in just good, positive criticism, not defaming using the S word or adding anything additional. All of these things and symbols here are trademark and property of Levitica or me as a private natural person. All right. So one of the first things you have to do is cancel all of the contracts. All of the contracts. So you're going to have to give them back the license plate, cancel the registration, and you're going to have to we'll start there. So you can mail back in all that stuff. I highly suggest walking into the DMV, giving them back everything. Here you go. And then you're going to want to, in advance, either have somebody bring you there or have your other plates and whatever else ready. We'll get to that in a moment. While you're there, you're going to want to ask the person behind the counter for the right to surrender driver's license form. Now, in different states, they might call it something different. If they don't know what you're talking about, ask them, say, well, if I get too old to drive and I can't see and I'm a danger on the road, how would you guys close my account? They would say, oh, well, yeah, you would need this form over here. Magically, it appears. One lady says she has been working there 16 years. She's never heard of anybody asking for such a form. It doesn't exist. Another person came out the back who overheard it and said, actually, yeah, this is the form right here. Some of these locations will let you take it. Some of them won't. Some will tell you it's an internal form. You have to sign it there. Some let you go. If you can get a copy of it, get a copy of it. You can go online and usually try to look it up, and not all of them have it online because they consider this to be kind of their dirty little secret. Shh. Okay? Until they spring it on you when you're like 70 or 80 years old. So once you fill out that form, if you can get a copy of it or a receipt of turning everything in, get it, keep it, put it in your travel binder. I made a whole video on just the travel binder, so I'm not going to go into all that right now. But it should contain everything that you've done to close out your account and your information. In most states, if you get a state ID, this boots you out from being able to have a driver's license. So that's another good confirmation. Now, when traveling, you want to make sure, educational information only, entertainment, these are my experiences. You do not want to have, like I've given back my state ID, okay? Because the state ID is going to have your address on there, and the number on top is going to be the same number that links you as a citizen to that particular state, and they can write tickets and things on that because you are a resident. So they know where you live. And the zip code construes jurisdiction because it's a federal number. 2-digit abbreviation for the state you use on there is a copywritten thing by the state of. They own it. Always write out your state. Always put, if you can, Republic of Hawaii or Republic of Wisconsin or Florida Republic. All right? Your mail will get there. If you don't use the zip, it might take an extra day or two. It is what it is. But, hey, I don't care if my bills come a day late. That's on them. Also, we recommend watching the video on general delivery. So you can Google James C. Lovett on, or no, you can do it on Google, but YouTube, James C. Lovett, and then general delivery on how to use general delivery at your local post office so that you don't get all the mail sent to your house. You can see what's coming in advance. And if you don't want it, they'll just return it or destroy it. Easy peasy. Okay? Okay, lots of gems are being dropped here, so get out your little gem sack. All right. So you've given them back all that stuff. You've signed all the things to, return, close your registration. You also want to transfer your vehicle. Okay, you can ask them, hey, do you have a vehicle transfer sheet? They usually have one. You want to also either create or have created a trust, a private foreign trust. Transfer your vehicle from you, the all caps name, into your given name. Okay, if you don't know what that is, there's a difference there. Go watch my video on the given name. You can find that. You should not have the same names. If you don't transfer it into your given name, then transfer it into the name of your foreign trust. Okay? You're going to give them a copy of that for their records. They now know that as far as they're concerned, it has been removed from you and placed into this trust, which is private. Bang. Okay? So now your vehicle should be out. They should have a record that it's been transferred to the foreign, your foreign trust. I made a video on that. And, okay, so now that you've done that, the only other thing that you need is you can get plates from the Federal Motor Carrier Safety Administration website and download their application. They do have a section on there on the actual application, which looks commercial, for other, or it'll say private travel. You're going to use that, follow their information, pay their fees or whatever else. That's one of the ways you can operate. Or you can do complete right to travel, okay, under the Constitution by utilizing your own. I highly suggest you use either your trust name, okay, or create your own micronation. Now, anybody can create their own micronation. It is good to have it recognized by at least another nation, which is one of the options that I do provide on blacksite32.com. You can go there. I send you the paperwork. You fill it out. You send me a copy when you're done, and I send you a statement between our two nations, which involves all of our nations who have joined. I'm not in control. Nobody's in control. It is just a group of nations who recognize each other, kind of like the big guys. So you then would take your nation name or your foreign private trust name, put it on top of your plate, and then what you want to do from there is up to you. Now, on most of ours, we have foreign national at the bottom because from the lower courts, state level, that jurisdiction, police officers, we are considered foreign nationals. If you've done, and we've already had chief of polices confirm this privately, most of them didn't want to go on record, that if you do everything right, close all of your accounts, yes, you can do right to travel. If you think about it, doesn't it make sense? If somebody from Lithuania or Germany, which you've seen the German plates, you can get those too. You can operate that way. Or, I don't know, Argentina, whatever, comes here with a private area's plate. Can they use the streets privately? Yeah. All right. So the whole thing is we, the people, own the streets. Okay. Cops, police, the citizens that are in their jurisdiction. Now, if you're foreign to them, as a foreign national, they can police you if you are going too fast. They can say you're endangering public safety. They can bother you if you have no plate on there because maybe they're thinking you're a U.S. citizen and somebody stole your plate. Okay? Make sure your tail lights and all your lights are all functional and working. Otherwise, they will bother you for those reasons, no plate or speeding. That's where they will then try to escalate the stop. Yes, I've got friends and family who are cops. I know a lot about what goes on inside the systems, including protecting the blue line, blah, 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 okay? So once you do that, you can put on there what you want. You can put on there UCC 1-308, meaning you're not contracting. You can put UCC 9-109, meaning this is a private conveyance and considered consumer goods. You can put your crest on there. You can put DOT exempt or exempt from, blah, 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 or whatever combination you want to do. Just don't mimic exactly or too closely using their symbols and their pictures for each state. They own them. They are copywritten. That it's protected. It might sound weird because remember, they can't pull you over because you have a foreign or private plate. Okay? If you have one that just says private on there, they might bother you because they could think you're stateless because you need to claim where you're from. Everything is claimed. If you're not claimed, then you're just free and to be bothered by anybody. So I don't recommend, nothing against the people out there who sell the private plates that just say private on there, or what is it, PR1VT or PR14 or something, whatever it is. Nothing against them, but you know, if I was a cop, I would bother that person too because you're stateless. You know, you're not picked up by any state. You're not even operating your own state, as far as I'm concerned. So yes, you can operate this way. So you've gotten your plate, you've closed all of your accounts, you've got your binder in the vehicle. I would just ensure that in your binder or whatever else in your vehicle, like if you have your title, you can either make your own title and get it notarized, take the original one with it and make your version of it and have the notary sign off that this is a true copy or a private copy of your title. I would not put your address on there. At least if you do, don't use the zip code. But I probably wouldn't put it on there at all. Put that in an envelope, seal it, put your name on there. You should have like a family stamp or crest or something like that on there. Date it. You can even mail it to yourself, make it official. It's also known as a poor man's patent. And I would say additional notes to understand is that for the law enforcement or the legal enforcement officers that are out there who don't understand the information, what they're going to do if they overstep, which is then exposing them personally to a tort claim in federal district court, okay, by violating rights. Now, if you're in the wrong, then they've got the right to do that, okay, to pull you over and see what's going on. But in general, they're going to want to see, and I'm not saying do or not do this, I'm just going to say the key points where they're going to try to get jurisdiction, which if you've removed your stuff properly, you don't have to worry about this. But if you have not done this, they're going to look into the window of your vehicle and get the VIN number or the door on the driver's side. All right. So the only other place that they really have a VIN is usually on the engine block, which they're not going to go through all that. And there's sometimes one in the trunk area. All right. Now, if you've closed out everything, it doesn't matter. Okay. But, and this is, I'm not giving, we do not provide legal advice. That's for lawyers. But I will say what I was told by a lawyer, so this is my experience, is that you hand them your identification, make sure everything's pulled out of the system, and you don't answer any questions. Okay? It's a common known rule that you can roll down the window 1 inch, and they can hear you. And all I'm going to say is if there's any, let's say if you have too much cologne on, okay, by scientific method, the air does not waft out so that they can smell it, okay? Now, what I'm telling you is that you should always operate your private conveyance properly. Do not do anything that is illegal or unlawful in your vehicle, blah, 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 okay? Self-govern. All we're saying is that you should know that you do have rights. Now, as a U.S. citizen, and if you have their plates, you have their stuff, and they give you an order, and you have a driver's license. Matter of fact, if you're going to do right to travel, you shouldn't even have one on you. They do have the right to ask you to do these things. You literally, in that point in time, and I hate to sound like them, you literally have no right to refuse because you've made these contracts in place. You got their license, their driver's license. Your vehicle's registered. You're rocking their plates on your car. You've got the license on you. You've agreed to be in their jurisdiction, under their jurisdiction. That's why they say, do you understand what I'm saying to you? Are you incompetent or something like that? Yeah, because they're like, what's your deal? Because you haven't closed out all of your things correctly to be truly in the private. Now, if the state gives you a hard time, I do have a letter for educational uses only that you can read and get some ideas on how to force their hand to remove you from this DMV system. Okay. Now understand that there's the state level stuff, and then above there, I think it's the National Drivers Registry, or there's the National Institute of Safety, something. Those two upper agencies who keep additional records and information on you won't just remove or delete your information. You literally have to have the state request for it to be pulled because they're the ones who put it up there, and that's their relationship, which I'm almost certain that could be a lawsuit, but we'll leave that alone for now because if you have my information, it should be removed upon request. So, but anyway, send a nice letter to your Secretary of State or your Attorney General if you feel that your information might still be there. But first, do your due diligence by contacting the DMV headquarters and ensuring that your information has been removed and closed out, and just say, I want all of my information closed out, removed from all of your subsidiaries and any additional agencies where this information can be used against me. But if you have a hard time, like I said, you can find my version of all of that already written up, typed, ready to go, and be notarized on blacksite32.com. So that, my friends, is how you do it. Now, additional things would be like your insurance. Keep in mind that some places will keep you, but now you have to be called a foreign driver. Yes, we're foreign nationals, but insurance companies refer to us as foreign nationals. All of them are supposed to provide this because they're open to the public. Very few people know to ask for that, and a lot of them, some of them will drop you. They don't want to deal with it. Might also be a lawsuit, but all you do is then go on Google and you search for insurance companies that insure for foreign drivers. Okay, some people have told me their insurance has gone down. Very few, if any, have said that it's gone up. Some have said they've been kept on. Some said they got dropped and get new. So if you run into that, once again, I already explained how you can get other licenses. And don't forget, you can also look into getting there's two different types. One's an international driving permit and one's an international driving license. They're very similar. I think the license, don't quote me, but I think that's the one that you want to get that's more accepted. And it would be good to get that educational information only before you cancel out everything, okay? Otherwise, you're free to get driver's licenses from other nations and operate that way as well. But it does start with closing out all of your information, just like going back to the time before you contracted into their for-profit incorporation. You're returning back to the land, back into the private. So that's it. That is how you do right to travel. Those are the experiences that I've gone through. Been doing this for over 10 years. Jackie Fig, God rest her soul, she had been doing this for over like 20 or 30 years or something like that. There's thousands of people who have done it. This is not for everybody. You might get a bad cop, you know, especially the later on at night it is, where the rookies play. You're more than likely going to get bothered. Doesn't mean they're right, but if they think they're right, you're going to cooperate. You're going to cooperate under threat of coercion and whatever else. You're telling them that I do not consent, but I will abide by this because, you know, is this an order? You're the one with the gun, so I don't want to be hurt. I fear for my safety. And just comply. Don't give them a hard time. Deal with it later. Get to them, ask for a magistrate because they're supposed to give you a magistrate. If they tow your vehicle, keep track of everything that they do. Even if they call you a sovereign citizen or whatever else, keep track of all that mentally. Record, stay calm, and use it later on in federal district court. Or go after them in a tort claim. Make a claim on their insurance, on their bonds. Okay? Do not file fictitious liens. Okay? If you can prove that they have damaged you or that or there's something of that nature that you can prove, that's one thing. But I would suggest going after them in court before doing the other stuff. Okay? Not that doesn't mean that if you can't do those other things properly, but most people just go, oh, I'm just going to do all this and whatever else. Well, now you've committed fraud. Now they can go after you. Okay? Because you're not being smart and you're not listening to people who've done all this beforehand. Okay? I'm just going to say that there's people that have, you know, done this before and understand how to operate. So until you get there, that's why I said read all the information contained on this before doing it. All right? And that And even with my information, make sure you review it. Make sure you check your information. Keep in mind that your average lawyer or attorney, they're not going to know or utilize any of this stuff. But you can find nationals who are, private lawyers, private attorneys, things of that nature if you need to. But otherwise, if it comes down to that, keep all of your information, and all I can do is tell you that your remedy will be suing them in federal district court if they deny you of your right to travel under deprivation of rights, 241 and 242, and going after them in tort claims and whatnots. So that's it, guys. Use the information safely, properly, and wisely. Travel safe, and always, always, always stay in good character. All right? So self-govern, and self-govern means you're not out there doing dumb stuff. You do dumb stuff, you win dumb prizes. Okay? That's it. That is your right to travel in a nutshell. That is it, the full breakdown. There's literally not much else I can tell you other than to be safe in all things you do. All right? Everything here these are my experiences. It's entertainment and education to get you to do research and to see what is all out there for your rights and freedoms under the Constitution of the United States of America, the geographic land, all 50 states, the Republic. So either use it or lose it, or keep doing what you're doing. Just be the best person you can be. Talk to you guys later. Badwolf's over and out. If you found any of this information entertaining, hit that bell, like, subscribe. Check out the merchandise down below, or check out all the offers and discounts and whatever else on blacksite32.com. And the Wolf, we'll see you guys later.